The soybean harvest in Ohio is just about complete, but almost half of the corn is still out there in the Buckeye State, with ear mold developing daily. Bill Mullen is the director of Agronomic Services with Seed Consultants. He found some issues in a field in southwest Wayne County.
Some hybrids a little better tolerance than others, but for the most part, we're seeing ear mold throughout the industry. It's genetics here in Ohio and that. One thing to keep in mind, there's different ear molds. We're looking at Diplodia ear rot. And basically, it starts at the base. It's a whitish gray mold, works up the ear, almost to the whole ear in that. Gibberella ear rot. Basically, it's a pinkish white mold, starts at the tip, works its way down. And both of them will also contribute to having stalk rot problems out there and that. All right, now keep in mind, really, for most of the fields here in Ohio, we saw some real warm weather prior to silking. After silking, got a little wet on us and that, so especially on some of the later planted fields, because when we hit August and that, and those ears have basically formed, pollination's done, they're sticking straight up in the air, okay? And when that rain came, all that rain fell right down, tip of the ear, and worked down. It made it worse or so in this customer's field is that he had some bird damage. And with that bird damage, the husk opened up, was exposed, moisture got down, went to the base of that plant, and the mold started to develop from there and that, all right? So the big part is there's mold out there, and the big thing we can do right now as we harvest it is try to dry it down to around 13%, maybe put a little air to it, but get it off the farm as quick as you can in that, all right? Now, as you can see over here, that I went ahead and I dug 3 corn plants. And primarily I was looking at crown rot, because I've seen some crown rot for our saturate soils early on in that. I really didn't see much of the crown rot in 3 of these plants. But one thing I did notice is that, as you can see, with the ear it put out, nice ear starting out, some bird damage. But look at the pith here. Look how it's deteriorating, okay, right here at the base in that, all right? Even with the second one, you know, we're seeing how that pith, even though it's a green stem, which is misleading, look at the pits rothing out in that. We get some heavy winds or so, there's a good chance a lot of this stuff is going to fall over in that. Another issue, more or less those ground pounding rains early on, saturated soils, you know, it kind of compressed, it kind of layered, you know, the roots in that, right? There was one of the 3 plants that had a lot better root development, roots went down in that. But the other 2, as you could see, it's more of a layer in that. One thing else to say is that when you look at the ear size of these 3 plants, okay, and we look at the stalk, how the stalk quality's been hurt, look at the dry conditions we had the stress time, okay? How did we go ahead and make some nice size ears? The ear size, basically, to filling out those ears and make it, get the girth there, make the length or so to it, okay, is that basically it took it out of the stalk. Took the nutrients out of the moisture to go ahead, put a nice size ear on there. So that's cannibalization. So really what's done is weaken the stalk in that. So it just compounded that problem there. Come close to harvest time, it may be standing now. If we get some heavy winds coming through there, there's a good chance it's going to throw these ears of these plants on the ground and make it a little bit more difficult at harvest time in that. And I'd like to end it on this note is when we go into 2017, just keep in mind, we can plant in early April, we can plant in mid-May and that, but the big thing is we want to make sure and we plant in the right soil conditions, the right depth, so that we have good strong emergence, good vigor, and the crop gets off to a good start in 2017. Thank you and have a safe harvest.